Hey everyone, it's the 22nd of February 2022. It's around 12 UTC, just coming up for it now. The first thing you should do when checking these satellite imagery is whether it's up to date. And as you can see, it's actually an hour and 15 minutes behind because the last frame is at 10:45 UTC. But anyway, the storm Emnati is heading towards landfall, although it is moving somewhat at an angle to the coast. Let's check in on it. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center has the storm at 80 knots, which makes it a Category 1 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, so it's weakened substantially from yesterday. Based on the satellite representation, it still has a pretty good connected eye wall. Looks like it's got a fairly symmetric structure. I would have guessed Category 2 on the intensity. The reason for the weakening is probably because the storm was slow moving and over waters that were cooler than usual actually. The colours here are the differences from normal, and where it's green it's below normal, and blue is quite a way below normal, and the reds are above normal. So you can see the seas to the east of Madagascar have been below normal. And as the storm has been moving slowly, this will need to be updated. The temperatures are probably even colder now in the water. And this is a problem that frequently occurs in the forecast, where a slow storm produces upwelling and cooling, and it's not best represented in the models, leading to an error. So that's the good news. The storm has weakened a bit, but it still remains a strong and dangerous storm. And the bad news is that it has not taken the further track to the south that we saw yesterday in the hurricane wharf, and is now looking like it's going to make landfall perhaps around Madagascar, as I think it has gone a little bit left of track. Let's see if we can get some info on that. To see if the storm is tracking on the track, we can check out the visible loop from the SIMS Tropical Cyclone website. And actually, no, it does look like it's following the forecast track pretty well from the start of the forecast. It's moving pretty much on the line. So unless there's a sharp deviation to the left, doesn't look likely now, we'll have this landfall around this area of Madagascar. So let's see where it's making landfall. Let's take a look on Google Earth. So the landfall is forecast to be now at Category 1 hurricane intensity on the Saffir-Simpson scale. The location of landfall, so first of all, the storm is rotating clockwise, and so that means the strong winds should be on the southern flank of the storm coming onshore, but all around the core will be strong, very strong winds, and the area of, well, it's pretty much spot on Namorona for the center of the storm, with strong winds on the southern side in particular, strongly affecting this area, which doesn't look too habited. Can't really see too much in the way of towns down here, but there's probably something. I'm still looking for towns along this coast. I must say it looks pretty wild. I don't see towns on the coast, so that's good news. At least that there aren't major towns in the path. Not that it is not a major hurricane strength system at this point. It is a Category 1, which is a weaker hurricane type system. It looks like a wild coast. I don't see it. There's some habitation to the southern side. So the storm's landfall most certainly now will be weaker than Batsarai, but we are looking at the Category 1 level damage, or conceivably Category 2 if it really holds itself together and is higher intensity than is currently analysed. But Category 1 seems the most likely, with some damage but not the major damage seen in Batsarai. During and after landfall, the storm will pass over southeastern Madagascar, with the centre heading over the mountains. Rapid weakening should occur, but horrendously strong rain over areas already previously affected by Batsarai and Anna and some other cyclones that have impacted the areas. There will be more flooding and landslides possible, and the storm then emerges off the southern side of Madagascar before heading into the Southern Ocean and turning extratropical. While Emnati is heading off into the Southern Ocean and turning extratropical, another system is forecast to develop in the European Centre model, and it's actually quite a small little one. It turns to what looks like a small tropical storm as we head through the weekend. And it isn't just in the ECMWF, there's also a signature of a storm. If we switch to the GFS model, there is a signature of a small storm there too. So another potential tropical cyclone development in that area. I wonder where it eventually goes in the model. Well, it's wandering off and then going into nowhere. The GFS is producing a couple of other storms very late on, which are probably quite uncertain. The EC is sticking with its storm there. Is it actually turning around? No, it's just going off into nowhere in the very, very long term. But one to keep an eye on as we head into the weekend. The Terra Modis polar orbiting satellite imagery has come in for Emnati, and you can see the core of the storm approaching the coast of Madagascar. And actually this is a good opportunity to flick back through the last several weeks to see just all of the storms that have impacted Madagascar. There was another storm back on February 15th that went in and went through, and then as we go back, we come back to Batsarai making landfall on around the 5th to 6th of February, and then if we go back, we'll go back further, and then I think that is Anna. And actually the middle one, I don't remember the name. Please let me know in the comments of that other one. So we had Anna, I'm going forward now. Anna at the late January produced the first of the flooding events, and then Batsarai, a major hurricane landfall around the 5th of February, and then we had this other storm which I've forgotten the name of, and then Emnati coming in now. So on that note, I'll leave it for today. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.